もしもし。
ฮัลโหล
あわわ。
อ้าวว้าวว้าวว้าว
あわわわわ。ペレレってって。
how are you today?
I am doing great. I had a nice day today.
Nice.
Clover had a nice day at the dog park. She had a best friend. They played and she wore her out.
That's good. That's nice.
Yeah. How was your day?
Not bad. I mostly took it easy. I didn't have much to do today, so I just kind of played Final Fantasy and took a nap.
Oh, that's nice. Relaxing day.
That was terrifying. My footrest just like collapsed. I think because it probably the screw screw on the right side, which is what used to keep it in place. I think it just got unscrewed somehow.
My feet! What will they rest on?
Yeah, I need it because my leggies are too short for my chair.
Oh.
Yeah, I think the problem is that my desk is just like too tall. Ideally, it would just be a little bit shorter to be ergonomically perfect. But yeah, shall we play some Ace Attorney?
Let's go see our boy. He ran off without us.
19
Oh.
months. Nice. Welcome back to the Women Respecting Club.
Oh my goodness. That's a long time.
パイプを手に窓の外に広がる濃い霧を見下ろしていた。この霧の底には一体いくつの事件が隠れているのだろうね。不思議な新聞広告から始まる奇想天外な事件。魔剣が闇をかける連続殺人事件に夜の墓場でよみがえる死刑囚の事件。 そして誰も知らない町外れの小部屋のありふれた殺人事件。どんな事件もその裏側には誰も知らない物語が潜んでいる。僕を事件現場へと駆り立てるのはその物語なのだよ、ワトソン。早く帽子を取りたまえ。行こうじゃないか、相棒。僕たちの冒険は終わらない。さあ、ゲームの始まりだ。
The game is afoot.
Wato-san.
Wato-san. Eight days after that earth-shattering trial and Kazuma regaining his memory, we were in the foyer of one of London's most luxurious hotels, the Great Waterloo Hotel. First November, 10:24 a.m. Great Waterloo Hotel foyer. Never trust hotels in Ace Attorney games. Professor Mikotoba is due to arrive at any moment.
Yes, I'm so glad we got here in time.
Susato-san hasn't been the same since what happened. Hi, Mads.
Mads,
Not that I'm surprised.
the truth about Kazuma-sama's father. Do you suppose my father knew?
That he was actually the mass murderer, the professor, you mean? I knew that's what she was thinking about. There's a good chance, I'd say. I mean, they did come here to London together 16 years ago, didn't they?
Yes, that's true.
Come to think of it, didn't you say that Professor Mikotoba knew that knew about Kazuma going missing in Hong Kong as well?
That's right. But for some reason, he wasn't at liberty to talk to me about it.
That probably means he knows then. About Kazuma showing up here in London with amnesia, and that he's regained his memory now. Ah, there she is. Oh my god!
I really wasn't prepared for this.
I wasn't prepared to see Judge Jigoku, but like he has a body.
He's in casual wear.
Look at him. Oh my god.
Oh, father.
Hello, Susato. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. We're delighted you've arrived safe and sound.
Hello, Mr. Naruhodo. Very kind of you to take the trouble to meet us here. Oh, no, not at all. It's my pleasure.
They really make quite the pair, just looking at the two of them.
It's really imposing when they wear, like, suits.
Yes. We've heard all about your extraordinary exploits here in London, you know. The news has crossed the seas. I like that.
It has?
It's the question marks. No one knows who this is.
Yeah.
I always look forward to reading the monthly reports that arrive with the steamships from Britain.
Oh, I see. Well, thank you very much. Who is this man? Why do I feel as though I've seen him before?
Well, he's smiling. That's new. I take it from your expression that you can't quite place me.
In that case, how about a little reminder, Seishiro? A firm tap should do it.
Yes.
A firm tap? What?
Here we go then. I hereby pronounce the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, guilty.
Ah. Oh! You're...
I like that it thuds on its own, even in the air. How do you not recognize his glorious beard?
I know. Who else looks like this man?
The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Ryunosuke is both face blind and can't see facial hair.
Well, the judge is all smiley and adorable right now.
Your Excellency.
Hello, Judge Jikoku. How are you? It's been a long time.
Oh my god, he's laughing. Good, you've remembered now. That really did the trick. Guilty.
Only I was declared not guilty, wasn't I? And there was no laughing at the time.
He loves his job. So, London again after all this time. Hard to believe it's been 10 years. To be honest, I never thought I'd be back.
I never thought I'd come back to this shithole country. Have you seen the food here? They boil eels. They're slime like you wouldn't believe. Neither did I. I didn't imagine Japan would ever be invited to an international symposium like this. Though really, I doubt anyone did, to be honest. It's all thanks to you, isn't it, Seishu?
What are you talking about, Eugene?
Of course, Jikoku. He must complete the set. He's the other man who 16 years ago came to London with Kazuma's father and Professor Mikotoba. He's the third visiting scholar. Well, all those passport checks and luggage searches at the border took rather a lot of time. I must say I'm very envious of your ministerial status. You didn't have to go through any of that, did you?
Ah, I knew you were jealous.
Sorry, ministerial status? Yes, didn't you know? Seishiro here is also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. It was his personal insistence that allowed you to take Kazuma's place here on his study tour.
Guilty as charged.
Oh, well, thank you very much. He's really every bit as important as he looks. He
Right.
does look very important. Yes now, Naruhodo. I received a telegram from Lord Strongheart yesterday. Oh, you did? It appears that some things came to light in a trial you were involved in with 8 days ago. About what happened 10 years ago. That tragedy. Yes. Could you tell us any more about it? So, how was the voyage here? Well, 50 days at sea is a long time by anyone's standards.
But it wasn't as bad as when we first came 16 years ago.
No, that's true. Then I truly wondered if we wouldn't be drifting in the vast ocean for the rest of our lives. This time we followed the same route as you, so we were able to relax and enjoy the experience.
Ah, so you stopped in France's beautiful capital, Paris?
We did, yes, though only for one night. And yesterday evening we left the port of Dunkirk for Dover.
Just in time for the symposium, in fact. It starts tomorrow.
It's wonderful that you were invited to attend such an important international event. I'm very proud of you, Father.
It's thanks to Seishiro here. 16 years ago, he managed to ingratiate himself with Britain's Attorney General. I'm sure that's why he was invited. And I suppose you could say I'm something of an appendage by default.
Speak for yourself, Eugene. You are close friends with the professor of forensic science at a major hospital.
Yes, well, I'd rather not dredge all that up, really.
No, there's been a lot of water under the bridge since then, but it doesn't bring him back.
Kazuma's father, I suppose. The professor, the killer who took the lives of 15 members of the British aristocracy, was actually Kazuma's father, wasn't he?
That's correct. Genshin Asogi.
Genshin Impact? Damn, that sure was a kind of Genshin Impact it had on Britain.
Oh my, oh.
Genshin?
You knew, I presume, Father?
Yes, he was a close friend at the time.
Genshin came to Britain as a police detective. He was studying investigative techniques at Scotland Yard.
Of course he came here as a polizia. A cab.
I've never understood what drove the man to commit such heinous acts.
It was a closed trial, so the public never knew the truth, and he was executed with little ado. To this day, very few people know what really happened, even in our homeland. But what about Kazuma? Did he know? Did he know the truth about his father?
No, of course not. He was told his father passed from sickness.
However, I suspect he may have had his doubts. Oh, why? As you know, I tried to guide Kazuma growing up, as if he were my own son. Then one day, he came to my office at the university and said,
I've decided. I want to travel to Great Britain and study there.
wouldn't it be so funny if he came in and he was just like, I know my father wasn't really sick. And that's how I knew he knew his father wasn't really sick.
Do you think he wanted to come here to investigate his father's death?
I don't know, but when I looked into his eyes, I did know that there was no way I'd be able to stop him. Something else came to light in that trial the other day, actually. Oh, what? Well, having disappeared in Hong Kong and been missing for almost a year, Kazuma has since turned up here in London, working as the apprentice of Lord Van Zeeks. What?
What? That's news to us.
So... Lord Strongheart's telegram neglected to mention that part then. As you know, we both thought Kazuma had died on that steamship during our voyage to Great Britain in January.
But he didn't die. He's alive. As you knew. Didn't you, Father?
In actual fact, no. What I did know is that when your ship docked in Hong Kong, it mysteriously vanished.
We sent a team of investigators to Hong Kong to try to ascertain what had happened, but to no avail.
But he's still alive. And here in London, you say. I never dared even to dream it.
Why on earth did the young man not make contact? The government and the police have been chasing clues fruitlessly for months now.
It seems that he was suffering from amnesia.
What? Amnesia?
When we first came across him again here in London, he didn't know who either of us were. I see. He only regained his memory 8 days ago.
This is unbelievable.
Yes, it's quite miraculous. I wonder why Lord Strongheart didn't let us know. I must speak with him urgently. I wonder how Kazuma's been these past few days. Would it be wrong of us to go and visit him?
Go see him.
See your boyfriend.
That began 16 years ago now. It's a distant memory, really. It was Eugene here, Genshin Asogi, and myself. We were the original 3.
They were the blueprint.
The first judicial scholars from Japan to travel overseas to study.
Who do you think is gonna get iced first? Or rather, who do you think is gonna be the murder victim in this hero case?
Oh, this one that we're on right now,
Somebody's
Karma.
gotta die. You know somebody's gotta die. We're in this penultimate case. It's probably gonna be somebody important.
Oh no, I don't want to think about that. I love all the characters.
Ocean voyages are not what they are today, I can tell you. 16 years ago, things were tough for their generation.
Your father was an exceptionally fine medical student at Yume University at the time, you know, young lady.
Yes, grandmother told me.
He went to do research at a great London hospital to study autopsy, practically unheard of in Japan.
Yes, it was an eerie place, sandwiched between the back of a prison and a burial ground. Ugh, not more talk of graves.
Very often, there's no one willing to deal with bodies following autopsy work.
So you see, autopsy labs have something of an unavoidable relationship with graveyards and prisons. Not my cup of tea at all. Do you remember that Scottish prison governor? Caden, his name was. He was a good man.
Yes, but then of course in our sixth year here, everything changed with that dreadful case. When Genshin was arrested for a series of the most gruesome murders.
Oh boy, it's gonna be that he didn't actually murder them.
That's what I was thinking!
We're gonna unearth the case.
Bro!
Oh, that's why Kazuma wanted to come here. He was like, your justice system sucks ass. I'm gonna burn London to the ground. Oh boy. I simply couldn't believe it. I'd known the man for years.
I was a witness at the secret hearing, and I tried to speak in his defense, but
you went a little too far and ended up facing charges yourself, didn't you?
well, suffice to say that after the trial, we were sent back to Japan.
There was nothing more we could do to save Genshin. It was a lost cause, sadly. Well, if you'll excuse us now.
Yes, I'd like to get this trunk up to my room as soon as possible.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have held you up here for so long.
I'll call for the porter then. Just wait here.
Oh!
Susato-san's gone off at a run. I'd like to stay and talk more, but I do have various preparations to make for tomorrow. Yes, of course. Must be a big responsibility representing our entire country. I wish you the best of luck. Naruhodo. I hope you'll keep an eye on Susato for me. Keep looking after her as you obviously have been. Oh, no, I mean, if anyone's looking after anyone, it's her looking after me. Well, I do appreciate you being there for her. After all, I've been a miserable father to her. I've thoroughly let her down. Sorry? What do you mean? Well, it was 16 years ago that I started my long study tour here in Britain, as you know. The very year Susato was born. Yes, I heard. The birth of my daughter was the most joyous event of my life, but... well, sadly it was accompanied by the most tragic event of my life, too. Oh, yes. Susato-san hinted at something like that.
It was a rather turbulent time at home.
Anyway, I won't bore you with the details. The point is, I became rather less dependable than befits a grown man. And it was then that Seishiro offered me the opportunity to study here in Great Britain.
I was too worried about you to leave you behind. So perhaps I was a little heavy-handed when it came to persuading you to accompany me to London.
So, that's what happened in a nutshell. And that's also the reason why I now feel compelled to give my daughter as many opportunities as I dare. Though the world does not readily afford young women such things, I must say. I completely understand, Professor. Oh, one other thing, Naruto. If I may be so bold, I have a favor to ask you. Oh, really? Of course, what can I do for you? Well, the thing is...
I'm so sorry that took so long.
Hey,
Miss Susato,
that guy!
we found a juror.
Now then, allow us to take your bags.
Allow me to take your bags. One moment, if you please, Porter. Of course, sir. That machine around your neck. It's a camera, I believe. Quite right, sir. Just 5 shillings for a lovely photograph to commemorate a wonderful stay at the hotel, sir. Well, I think given the occasion, we could justify the expense.
Oh my god,
Oh,
one of them's
yes.
gonna die.
Yes, of course. Bro,
Definitely.
your daddy's gonna get
Definitely.
iced.
Definitely.
Papa Mikotoba.
I'd like to thank you for coming with me, Mr. Naruhodo. It's really made Father very happy, I think.
Oh, well, I'm pleased then. But we were interrupted before. Professor Mikotoba was about to ask me something.
Shall we return to Baker Street then?
Ask the thing! He's gonna fucking die and you're not gonna know! Stop!
We are blissfully unaware of these death flags that are being raised in our presence.
Oh my god! How many death flags can one man give? He's like, Susato, I feel like I've really not been a great dad, but from now on, we're going to be together forever. Oh, excuse me, could you take a photograph? Yes, good. Make sure you give that to my daughter. Oh, that's right, Naruto, I had something to say. Oh, he's gone. Oh well. I'm sure
Oh
it can wait till
God,
the
dude.
morning. My man, he is going to get stabbed so fucking hard.
I expect Iris will have some delicious tea waiting for us.
Yes, let's go. I'm getting more and more anxious about Kazuma, though. Perhaps I'll try to meet with Lord Strongheart later and ask after him. Have you seen all those sparkling jewels up there? I must have gathered every gem in the world for that.
Ah, it's called a chandelier, I believe. It's designed to provide elegant lighting in large, spacious rooms like this.
So, they had to gather every gem in the world just to illuminate one room?
It's probably electric light bulbs that are actually throwing the light.
If I tried to hang something like that from the ceiling in the office, it'd be scraping on the floor.
I think perhaps chandeliers aren't for you, Mr. Naruhodo.
Uncultured. Look at those cases just left there on that trolley. Aren't they worried about thieves? I know I am.
Haven't you seen the porter over there? Don't worry, he's obviously keeping an eye on everything.
Oh, so it's a trap designed to catch any chancers who might be tempted.
I think he's looking at you.
Why did the porter give me such a scathing look just now, do you suppose?
Well, some might say you look a little suspicious with your jet black clothes.
What? Hey, but the guys back there and the staff, they got jet black clothes. It's just suits.
Not everyone clad in black is some sort of ninja with the intent to steal, you know.
That desk is known as the hotel reception. Anyone wanting to spend the night has to report there to sign in for their stay.
Oh, so do you think that's the head clerk behind the desk there?
People always keep getting murdered in these goddamn
I'm
hotels.
telling you! Hotels and Ace Attorney! They are deadly.
Terrible.
Yes, I'm sure it must be.
I'd love to stay in a grand hotel like this for a little while, wouldn't you? Just to know what it's like.
You'll get wrecked, Becky.
If the hotel fee was paid through our stipend, I'm afraid it might bankrupt our homeland.
True. London gives the word expensive a whole new meaning. Look at that, it's a picture of the Crystal Tower.
Well, the Great Exhibition is one of Britain's most prestigious achievements in recent years. I wonder how tall it is. It really does represent the pinnacle of scientific achievement in so many ways.
There's a 20-meter tall chimney on the bathhouse near my lodgings at Yume University. The attendant there is always boasting that it's the tallest object in the neighborhood.
I'm sure. Did you know that over the channel in Paris, there's a tower that's 300 meters tall?
What? How many times taller than the chimney at Yume Soken Hot Springs is that? And if it's that tall, how does it draw properly? The smoke would get stuck, surely.
I don't think it's that sort of tower, Mr. Naruhodo.
First November, Solmes Street. What? What was that?
A man screaming in a most unflattering way.
Do you think? Could it have been Mr. Sholmes?
Oh my, I do hope not.
Oh my! Oh no! He's Italian.
I don't do it anymore.
Oh no, they're French! What the fuck?
Apologies, Europe.
Mon ami, stop this disgraceful display, huh? Who are these people? Look, their hair, it's bright red.
I think they must be clients of Mr. Sholmes. Right, you two. You're coming with me now. Down to the clink. No, not in prison. It is dark and damp, and I don't like it.
Oh, the darkness, it is my friend. I am not scared.
But you are always scared of the dark.
Shut your mouth, you idiot. Sit quietly in the dark and plan our next daring heist.
Ah.
I don't like this. I don't like it. Well, tough. We'll finish this down the yard. Now get moving. Bye then, Ginny. Have fun. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Iris. And thanks, you great detective. Gina makes a fine detective herself, doesn't she? Oh, Susie! And Renu!
Hello, Iris. We're home.
Well, did you find your daddy? Yes, we arrived at the hotel just before he and his friend. Oh, well, that's great news. I hope I'll get to see my daddy again soon. When will I get to see my daddy? Where could he be?
Mr. Sholmes of the Tower!
Ah, yes, of course. Fine. Now they. No one's told her. I'm sure someday you'll get to see your daddy. Just not today.
I'm not fine. No, this has not been resolved yet. Any day now. Any day now. Dr. John H. Wilson. I think this is Sholmes.
So, Iris, all that remains now is that greatest of problems known to man.
Oh! Oh! What happened to you?
It's such a strong red. It's really saturated. Wait, I didn't read the line.
Hold on. Sorry, hang on.
But before we concern ourselves with that, I believe some tea is in order, don't you, my dear fellows? Is something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo?
No. Awful.
Are we hydrating?
Okay. Let's hydrate on that note.
Nothing more than usual, I guess. Yeah. Do I have a crumb or such like on my face?
I wasn't ready. Not so much on your face as on your head, I'd say.
Come along then, everyone. I've brewed a lovely special blend. Time for tea.
No one is saying anything.
Whatever is going on here today?
In that case, let us sit and drink now. Came the lost sibling of a heist trio. For I am, in fact, expecting a guest later today. Will they recognize you?
Okay.
Mr. Sholmes, this is what we're asking first?
Yes.
Who were the two gentlemen that were here before?
Oh, just a pair of petty criminals. Nothing of significance. Of course, they have to make a living somehow. And when the mood takes me, I'm willing to turn a blind eye to all manner of infractions.
When the mood takes you?
All manner of infractions.
But when such fellows set their sights on Mr. Herlock Sholmes, well, that's when their luck runs out.
Oh my! You are the target of a crime, Mr. Sholmes?
Yes. I can tell you. I'm looking at it right now.
But I quickly devised a plan to entrap them and deliver them to our young detective ally.
You should have asked Gregsy to come too. We could have had an arresting tea party.
I did send word, but no answer was forthcoming. The man is consummately in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's a word for it, I'm sure. Ah! I have it. A bungler. That's the word.
Wow. That's not very nice.
That's not nice. Don't say that.
It's a good job he's not here to hear you, you say that. So, those redheads have been up to no good.
I wonder what the men did.
What was that about the greatest of problems known to man that you mentioned before?
Is it not another fiendishly intricate case, Mr. Sholmes?
How should I best explain it? Are you aware of the theory of evolution by natural selection, perchance?
Well, I think I've heard talk of it somewhere, possibly.
It's a revolutionary scientific theory that was newly proposed 40 years ago now. to its author, Mr. Darwin, we humans were once apes who lived in the treetops.
Wait, what? We were apes?
Indeed. And from the very moment those apes descended from the canopy to live as humans, it has been our lot to be at the mercy of the greatest problem known to man.
Capitalism.
Our lot? What is this great problem, Mr. Sholmes?
Why, is it not obvious, my dear madam? The problem of rent.
Oh my god, it's actually capitalism. Yeah, baby.
But did you not receive a rather large sum of money from Madame Tuspel's only the other day?
Pshaw, a large sum? One potted herb for Iris, and a new motor car for me later, and all of it has quite disappeared, I assure you. Well, you bought a car?
I think I've identified your problem.
Honestly, Hurley, you know you squandered it.
This is like that tweet that's like $800 rent, $36,000 candle. Someone help me budget. My family is starving.
Oh my god, dude. Yes, well, anyway, 2 days ago, I discovered the answer to man's greatest problem. For the coming month, at least.
Oh boy. And what was the answer?
Why, there is a substantial clue before your very eyes.
Don't tell me. Let me see.
Humans are sorry creatures, unable to see what is in front of their noses. Let me give you some assistance. Don't look, but observe me very closely. There is one particular feature about my person that has changed. You should notice it in the end, I think.
You know what?
Missing jacket!
You know what? You're right. It's that he's not wearing his jacket. In the end. It's been stabbing me in both eyes right from the very beginning of our conversation!
I think we might need another clue before we uncover the full answer, Mr. Naruhodo.
Thanks for the hint. I'll be tearing my hair out if this charade goes on much longer. Mr. Sholmes, isn't it about time you told us the truth? Just over a week ago, you said to us...
We're really not... Okay, alright.
Alright.
I will now tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that.
The case aboard the SS Buria in January. Kazuma wasn't killed, and you knew he wasn't dead at the time. So what was really going on?
Finally addressing this. The fellow was unconscious for a very long time. If he hadn't regained consciousness when he did, his life would have been in mortal peril. Of Of course, a side effect of the prolonged comatose state was amnesia, as you now know. It was a simple enough task to silence the crew.
But how?
After they'd carried him out of the cabin, I assembled them in the lobby area. Then I made them swear to leave him unconscious and have him unlaid from the ship in Hong Kong as a murdered corpse.
Oh, how horrible!
It was necessary to find some material with which to persuade the crewmen to keep their word, of course.
But why? Why do it in the first place?
I will be at liberty to elaborate in due course. But for the time being, I would like to reassure you. I didn't foresee subsequent events.
What events?
His disappearance in Hong Kong.
Oh,
I believe I may have made a gross error of judgment.
Mr. Sholmes. My gross error of judgment was dyeing my hair this color. The mask Kazuma wore when he was assigned to Lord Van Zeeks as his apprentice. When he cast it aside after the trial the other day, I just sort of picked it up.
we ought to give it back to him, I suppose.
But he has his memory back now, doesn't he? And I can't help feeling he might turn around and tell me coldly to wear it myself.
But isn't he your best friend?
Yes, he's your boyfriend.
Used paper.
This looks like last week's edition.
What's that article circled in red ink there?
It's in an advertisement column. It says, "To the Red-Headed League."
Oh? The Red-Headed League? What's that?
I don't know. I've never heard of it before, but
She's just staring at him.
Is something on my face?
Clearly this has something to do with that lively hair. Oh boy. To the Red-Headed League, on account of the bequest of the late Izakaya Hopkins of Lebanon, PA, USA, there is now another vacancy open, which entitles a member of the league to a salary of £4 a week for purely nominal services. All red-headed men who are sound in body and mind and above the age of 21 years are eligible. Apply in person on the morning of the 31st at the large park on Lime Street. Get £4 per week if you are redhead. The most fantastic money-making opportunity. Why? Why? I've solved rent. It looks as though someone circled an advertisement in this paper, Mr. Sholmes.
To the Red-Headed League? Does that strike you in some way? I swear to God, this man.
I was thinking that just maybe it might be related to your bright red hair.
So, at last you've learned to apply my methods, Mr. Naruhodo.
My God. Sorry?
In the first instance, and quite indispensable, observation.
Okay. Believe me, I could have seen that hair with my eyes shut.
So then, allow me to regale you with the details of my latest exploits.
Regale or boast? So what is the Red-Headed League? Which seems to be the subject of the advertisement you've circled?
You noticed it in the paper then? That, my dear fellow, was going to be the source of this month's rent payment!
It was? How?
According to the advertisement. The Red-Headed League is a distinguished institution.
Sorry.
Institution of Fellows of Unspecified Governance. In
Oops.
fact,
Sorry. I do
in
not have
fact,
my
the
head.
only-
I don't have my marbles all in place today.
The only condition for becoming a member is having red hair.
I don't know. I don't know if you could tell, but I've not had a lot of caffeine today.
But listen to what the lucky redheads receive once they join. An unconditional salary of £4 a week.
Dang. That does sound kind of nice, though. I don't know how much 4 pounds buys right now, but
Oh my, £4 a week.
probably a considerable salary.
Yeah, back then.
But why? Why are they? What are they paying people for?
That I don't know. No details are given in the advertisement.
Oh my God, you are gonna lose a kidney.
But surely every red-headed person in the country would be flocking to join in that case. You're right, Susie. There's no time to lose. I'll put in my application at once.
Does that count?
So will I. Just on the off chance.
That might be stretching a point, I think.
The trouble is, they have a fixed number of members, you see.
Oh, I see. So once a certain number of people have joined, no one else can.
But as luck would have it, one member recently passed away.
Ah, okay.
It wasn't particularly lucky for the redhead in question, I feel, Mr. Shultz.
Yeah, he died. Oops. So you decided to try to join in his place?
Correct. I mean, look at me. Have you ever seen such a red-headed fellow?
I guess not. No.
So why? Why did it have to go so wrong?
What on earth happened?
A blunder, Mr. Naruhodo, though it pains me to admit it.
What did you actually do to your hair, Mr. Shultz?
I'm glad you asked, Mr. Sato. What you see atop my head is neither dyed nor a hairpiece.
What?
What do you mean?
What does that mean?
I changed the color of my hair overnight by the wonders of chemistry.
Chemistry?
I was conducting some research into a method of rejuvenating spent tea leaves. And in the course of my work, I stumbled upon a potion that, when taken, turns one's hair a flame-like red. Would you like to try it? It will make every hair on your body perfectly crimson.
Oh my.
What's the side effects here?
I think I'll pass.
But Mr. Sholmes, is it quite safe to drink? Surely it's bad for you, isn't it?
Amateurs are always hampered by such fears.
Oh, I should never have doubted you, Mr. Sholmes. You mean to say?
But of course! To earn £4 per week, one must be prepared to turn a blind eye to a little danger.
You could do your job. That degree of red signals more than just a little danger, surely.
So anyway, Hurley left full of confidence yesterday with his new red hair. For the park on Lime Street where the Red-Headed League were interviewing prospective new members.
So, what went wrong?
The whole park was choked with red-headed folk, like a coster's orange barrow. I queued for 8 hours solid before at last I reached the front. But when the panel of interviewers saw me, they immediately said, "Ah, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, are you in disguise to conduct an investigation?"
Oh no, you're too well known.
You played yourself, sir.
You played yourself. Just do your job. You're fucking famous, man.
So naturally, I had no choice but to reply. Shh, don't give me away.
Fucking drama queen.
After which, I could do little else but turn and leave. Then this morning, when I looked in the mirror, irritation stirred within me. So I turned that pair in to the police.
Ah, okay. Yeah, just normal shit. Alright, man.
Oh dear, what a disaster for Hurley and those two redheads. Mr. Sholmes, you mentioned before that you were expecting a guest today?
Indeed, Mr. Sato, that is correct.
Not another one of those redheaded gentlemen that were here before.
Not at all. They were petty villains. The guest I am expecting is a client.
Oh?
A young gentlewoman who wishes to appoint the services of this great detective, no less.
Oh, how wonderful, Mr. Sholmes!
You must stay and observe the fashion in which a great detective receives his customers.
Must we?
I have you in my clutches now, Rent. Just as I have you in my clutches, redheads.
That hearty laugh is masking rather sinister thoughts, I feel. You know, the lady isn't due for another hour yet. Don't feel as though you must wait around if you have other things to do.
I see. First November, Naruhodo's legal consultancy. Okay, well, let's go to the Lord Chief Justice's office. But before that, let's take a little breaky so I can go to the bathroom.
Little breaky.
Alright, burb.
How we doing tonight, y'all? Enjoying the case so far? Case of the Red-Headed League. Yee, nice. It's good? Good.
Also playing so much Final Fantasy. Soupy was telling me at the top of the stream that they also spent all day today playing Final Fantasy 14, of course. Yeah, we were playing earlier and it took a 3-hour nap. You gotta recharge so you can play more. It's the final times 14 fantasy. The finalist fantasy. This time for real. Times 14. Actually, I guess now times 16 since 16 is coming out at some point. If you count every Final Fantasy, it could get a lot higher. Oh god. For sure. I wonder how many Final Fantasies will release during our lifetimes, you know? Like, how high will the number get in the numerical series, I mean? friend of mine looked up the complete list, including remakes and re-releases, and it was like, oh, 120 games. I've only played FF6 and 14? That's interesting. I mean, those are both great. But I've not heard of anyone that's only played those two. Wow. Played most of the FF7 remake. I tried the original FF7 more recently and bounced off of it. Oh. Did you like the remake more than the original? Because I think it's so interesting, like people playing 7 for the first time without any of the nostalgia attached to it, you know? Like, they'll play it in modern time or whatever, like, currently. And what they think about it. So I imagine there must be a ton of people who are playing the remake without having played the original before, right? Because that's how old the original is.
Alright, sorry about that, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Oh, it's on Final Fantasy?
We're talking Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy. Okay, cool.
Mostly bounced off because I found it hard to navigate with the way the backgrounds and stuff were designed, but story-wise I didn't enjoy it any more or less. Oh, okay.
I've only ever played the older Final Fantasy games. Specifically, I've really only played like 3 and 4 because they had remakes that came out on the DS at around the same time.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
But I never finished either of those games. I think I did get to the last boss of 3 though. Yeah,
I never played 3 or 4.
Final Fantasy 3 has like a whole storyline about like the Crystal Tower, which a lot of it gets sort of ported over to 14. It's really funny because the other Final Fantasy game that I played 4 is the sort of like is where they're taking the most recent story content from. So you have like, you know, you got like a big bad and his like 4 heavenly kings or whatever, right? And I was like, huh, I've like vaguely remember this. Anyway. 1st November, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. Here's the final draft of the opening address for tomorrow's proceedings. I've supplemented your original with the figures you asked for from the yard. I see. Excellent work. Thank you. Final Fantasy 3 on the DS is also the only Final Fantasy game you like. It was cute. I don't know exactly how well those like extremely DS pick like 3D polygon models have aged. They're kind of in that like they're almost in that weird space where they're like I'm not sure if they're nostalgic enough versus how like kind of limited the hardware was.
Mm.
I'm a little quieter than Renu. How dare Renu be louder than me? I'll turn you down to 98% just for that.
Oh! How could you?
You're welcome, my lord. What's Lord Van Zeek's doing here? I mean, his job probably.
Right?
My, there seems to be an awful lot of tension in the air, wouldn't you say?
This place is stifling enough as it is. We really don't need any more tension. My apologies. I didn't notice you come in. Your small stature and dark dress make you all but invisible to me.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
no, it's not. It's entirely my fault for wearing black, I'm sure.
From now on, you must dress in white from head to toe whenever you come here.
Now then, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, my lord. I'm right here. Kill me now. Is something wrong? Perhaps it's a little too hot in here for you. No, not at all. I mean, I've never experienced a room at such a perfect temperature. If you're sure, the beads of sweat carving their way down your face seem to suggest otherwise. Because of the daggers you're staring at me with, mainly. As you're no doubt aware, my International Forensic Science Symposium begins tomorrow. In fact, your father arrived in London earlier today, I hear, madam.
Oh, yes, that's right, my lord. He's extremely honored to have been invited.
I'll leave the remaining preparations for the meeting room in your capable hands there, Lord Van Zeeks. I will attend at once.
He gave you a look.
He did give us a look.
He gave you a very cold stare as he left, didn't he?
I know, but I haven't done anything, have I? These past few days, my feet have barely touched the ground, I must say. My dedicated right hand of many years was recently put out of action in spectacular fashion. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is your left hand still of service?
Oh my God.
Mr. Naruhodo, he's talking about Dr. Scythe.
Ah, fuck! I'm terribly sorry about that. Fear not, you've done nothing wrong. Dr. Scythe's own wrongdoing precipitated the situation. You needn't concern yourself with it any further. That would be a lot easier to do if it weren't for the piercing stare you're giving me. Lord Van Zeeks is doing an admirable job of holding the fort. Though, disturbingly, his apprentice has been missing since yesterday. Oh! Missing!
What's become of Kazuma-sama now?
Not long ago, visitor numbers to the Great Exhibition exceeded 30 million. 30 million? Are there even that many people in the world?
As a comparison, Mr. Naruhodo, the population of the imperial capital, Tokyo, is 2 million.
That is actually pretty wild.
Yeah.
I will be opening the International Forensic Science Symposium in the exhibition's main auditorium. This event has been 2 years in the making. 2 years of preparations and negotiations with other countries. Sounds like a tremendous achievement. Congratulations. The 20th century will see the wholesale adoption of forensic investigation techniques. And cooperation between policing organizations around the globe will be essential. Which is why this landmark first symposium had to be hosted here at the heart of our great British Empire. In order that Scotland Yard can become the leading investigative organization in the New World. He's the same as ever, I see. That passion of his is quite something.
You're every bit as passionate in your own way, I'm sure, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh my god, stop reading my mind. I'm the only person in this country who truly cares about a future that embraces forensic science. It was my intention to become Her Majesty's Attorney General and reform the Yard from the ground up. So the disgrace of the forensic investigation team has been a bitter blow to my ambitions. I wonder who did that.
Oh.
I
Couldn't
first
have been
established.
us.
Yeah, couldn't have been us. I first established the forensic investigation team a year ago, experimentally to start with. With Dr. Scythe at the helm, it was steadily accruing an impressive record of achievement. I was on the verge of changing its name and elevating its status to a full-blown forensic investigation department. And can you not do that now? Obviously, nobody wants to hear anything about it at the moment. Even I can't keep this story out of the papers. 6 million Londoners will be cursing forensic science now. This incident will set back our country's advancement in the field by a good 10 years, I'd say.
Oh, jeez.
Unintended repercussions of our trial.
We simply couldn't have overlooked what had happened, though.
Of course not. We should all be grateful to you both. Anyway, I'll still reform this country's policing when I become Attorney General. This might delay my plans, but it won't alter them. Nothing will stand in my way. About Lord Van Zeke's apprentice. Ah, yes, that came as a surprise to me, I must say, that you and he are old friends. How did he become an apprentice to Lord Van Zeke's in the first place? It came about 3 months ago. An unidentified Asian man was apprehended by border police. They found him hiding aboard a large goods vessel.
Oh my, so he stowed away to get here.
He had no papers to identify him, no passport, and he was suffering from amnesia too. Other than the fact that he was clearly of Eastern descent, there were no clues as to who he was. So I decided to assign him to Lord Van Zeke's. That way I could keep an eye on him. But then, why the mask? I didn't want to burden Lord Van Zeke's with tiresome explanations about why he had an Eastern apprentice. Because it would be so much easier to explain why he was wearing a mask. He's proving to be a great help to Lord Van Zeke's. I have high hopes for his future. By the way, do you know where he's gone? No idea, but I believe he's left London for the time being.
Oh,
I take it you also didn't know that the man's father was one of our country's most infamous criminals, Kenshin Asogi. What we learned from that trial 8 days ago was a huge shock. Finding out my friend's father was... Ah, yes, Genshin Asogi. The professor case 10 years ago caused a great stir here in Britain.
they were such awful murders, and unprecedented, using a ferocious dog as a murder weapon.
Jesus! And no one would have believed the culprit was a foreign student invited to study here by the government. So the true identity of the killer couldn't be made public then, and can't be made public now. Nobody in your country knows it was him, and neither do the citizens of London.
The main motivation was to avoid aggravating relations between our two nations at the time, I understand.
Correct, however. It has to be noted that there were some supporters of the professor's apparent cause. What? Supporters of a mass murderer? The majority of the man's victims were a blight on the aristocracy of the day. Somewhat ironically, their deaths actually benefited society as a whole.
Oh.
Or so a fair few thinkers in London believed, anyway. Right, I see. But it was still murder, wasn't it? That's praxis, baby.
It seems very similar, doesn't it? To the idea of the Reaper of the Bailey.
The Reaper of the Bailey?
Ah! Here is my guest now. My latest client. With money to spend.
Oh, I do hope it's an exciting case, Hurley.
Remember, Iris, we are at present gripped by the greatest problem known to man. I must be willing to accept any case, no matter how unstimulating. Save locating a runaway, of course.
Don't spare anyone's feelings, will you?
Aha!
Oh dear. I'm afraid that Hurley can lack a little tact, especially just before the rent is due.
Bop.
Uh-oh.
Oh my!
Oh! Another juror? Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, please, oh please. Please find my husband. He's run away.
Oh? He's red. Every time I look at him.
To upset me. I beg your pardon? Never mind. A personal matter. My apologies. What exactly are you trying to say, Mr. Naruhodo?
I didn't say a word!
Come, my dear madam. Be seated. Iris, some tea, if you please.
Of course.
What's the matter, Mrs. Sato?
Oh, it's just that gentlewoman. I feel sure I've seen her somewhere before. Very recently. Very, very recently.
Yeah, now you come to mention it.
As I explained earlier, my name is Evie Vigil. I implore you to take the case, sir. Money is no object. Simply name your figure.
All right,
Oh,
Mr.
you did-
Sholmes, I figured out
yeah.
how you're gonna pay rent.
Yup. Money and wealth are of little consequence to me, madam. Being offered a case to solve is reward enough. You gonna eat your words.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you are the picture of benevolence.
I will, of course, make a mental note of your offer, however, for contingent reasons. I trust you will remember your words also.
If I might inquire, sir. This gentleman and lady would be?
You don't remember us?
Nobody has eyes. Oh, me?
What I am about to tell you, I should like to communicate in the strictest confidence, you understand.
Ah, these are my friends. I assure you, you may say before this pair anything which you may say to me.
Ah, I see.
I can vouch for the gentleman personally. After all, he's hard of hearing.
Why did I ever get my hopes up? Forgive me for asking, Mrs. Vigil, but have we met somewhere before? Quite recently, perhaps?
Oh my! Pshaw, my dear fellow, what is your intention?
Are you a MILF hunter, Ryunosuke?
Clearly, you have no ability to differentiate the facial features of the English. Oh, he's calling us racist.
Damn.
If you wish to invite the lady to tea, you must do so in a more gentlemanly fashion.
Is it possible that you're the nice young lawyer from the trial I attended last week?
Oh, I knew I recognized her. Nobody has eyes.
It was only last week, y'all.
To have a man's fate in the palm of one's hand? Oh gosh, oh golly, it sends shivers down my spine.
I didn't recognize her because she's acting so differently now. Is she?
Yeah, right?
It must be very difficult for you as a lawyer, being hard of hearing, I mean.
Pardon?
Oh dear, I'm so sorry. Don't worry if you can't hear. It was a frippery, really, nothing more.
Now look what you've started, Mr. Sholmes. Thank you very much.
I believe it will be prudent for you to sit quietly in the corner.
Yes.
Tell us about your husband, madam.
Mr. Vigil, my daily, is 40 years of age. I have a photograph here.
A lot happens just to be true.
An entirely unremarkable gentleman, by appearance at least. How long have you been married?
It will be 15 years this year. We have a cordial relationship, and my husband's income is more than adequate, so we live quite comfortably.
As it would appear. I need only look at you to know these things.
Oh gosh!
Nothing gets past the great detective.
Right. Your dress is the latest style. Your hat clearly regularly groomed, and your eyes are animated. What? In short, you have no inkling as to why your husband might have disappeared, correct?
That's right. He's a kind man with a strong sense of loyalty, and he rather dotes on me.
Which would point to the possibility that he has become embroiled in some incident or other.
I fear must have happened, Mr. Sholmes. I'm quite beside myself. My husband's employment is somewhat unusual, you see.
What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
What if he's incurred some miscreant's ill will?
What exactly is your husband's line of work?
He's a warder at the prison.
Oh my god, warders get paid like that? Jesus.
Yeah.
My man was definitely doing something illegal. A guard? That is somewhat unusual.
So, your husband is a prison warder.
That's right, yes. Well, in actual fact, he's the chief warder.
Oh,
Okay,
well.
never mind. He's just doing the prison thing.
Indeed? I see. Well, chief prison warder certainly qualifies as something of a specialist occupation.
Yes, it does indeed. My poor husband must prepare those dreadful punishments and see that they're carried out.
Dreadful punishments? Does she mean capital punishments? Ugh.
And at such times, he must occasionally spend a night or two in the prison dormitory. But for that extra responsibility, he is Wait, did they spell that wrong?
I think it is supposed to be remunerated.
Yeah. So they did spell it wrong, okay.
He is remunerated more handsomely than the other warders. Of course, we make no mention of my husband's work to the neighbors.
Yes, I believe your prudence is justified. Tell me, at what prison is your husband engaged?
Barclay Prison, Mr. Sholmes.
Really? Barclay? Oh, a fine establishment. If I'm not mistaken, there is a large cemetery just behind it.
Think
You don't say.
Think emoji.
Oh, that's the right spelling? So it's remunerated?
Wait, that's what? That's wild.
What?
What the fuck?
Really? I always thought it was remunerated. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I've been wrong my whole life. Thank you, Herlock Sholmes.
What the
Ace Attorney.
fuck?
Ace Attorney translations for teaching me. Wow. All right. Good to know.
I guess we did learn something today. That's wild.
That's crazy.
Yes, that's correct. Lowgate Cemetery.
Mhm.
No! Lowgate
Drama.
Cemetery! The
Drama,
very
drama.
place we were discussing in court! That's unbelievable.
Unbelievable, my dear fellow, and yet undeniable.
I'm sorry, Mr. Sholmes. I'm afraid you've lost me.
Oh boy, I think your husband's dead.
Ah. Ah, pay no heed, madame, pay no heed. A private matter.
This can't really be a coincidence, can it?
So, to the matter of your husband's disappearance, when did you realize he was missing?
Please try not to laugh. It was yesterday.
I'm sorry? Yesterday?
That really is recent. Laughably so.
The truth is, my husband does at times have occasion to spend the night away for his work. It's not at all out of the ordinary for him to not to return home at night, but this is different. For him not to make any contact for a whole day, that has certainly never happened before. Oh, my dear Daly, whatever can have happened?
My dear Mrs. Vigil, please calm yourself. Now then, have you contacted the police?
Why, naturally, but sadly. They refuse to listen to my pleas, as my husband has only been missing for one day. I was asked to wait patiently at home.
In truth, Mrs. Vigil, I concur with the police. However, let us not be hasty. We must make rent. I see no reason why we should not engage my deductive powers to track your husband down anyway.
Fair enough.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Sholmes.
And furthermore, let me assure you, a chance to solve the greatest problem known to man for another month has no bearing on my decision. I seek only to put a sweet smile on another Londoner's face. That's really all there is to it.
You have my eternal gratitude. I shall pay any sum you care to mention.
You seek only to put this sweet's rent in your landlady's purse. That's all there is to it. This guy is going to be dead.
Or, you know, he's
We
not
are
gonna
going
get
to
anything.
find a dead body.
He's just not gonna pay rent.
No rent for Mr. Sholmes.
Thank you for everything you have shared with us, Mrs. Vigil. I believe I have all the information I need to begin my investigation.
Oh, please report to me soon with good news, sir.
Fear not, madam. In a day or two, I shall be contacting you with a heartening report, I'm quite sure.
So soon? Oh, how splendid, Mr. Sholmes.
Good news should be delivered early, I always say. If you would be so kind as to leave the photograph of your husband in my possession. Boop. Thank you. Now, allow me to show you the door.
I can't thank you enough, Mr. Sholmes. You've been simply marvelous. Bye-bye. You know, I think it every time, Hurley. But how do you come out with such nonsense? Good news in a day or two. Are you sure?
I can't be sure, of course, but then I didn't swear on it. I merely gave the good woman some hope. I hope to be able to give her good news, one might say. After all, the rent must be paid by the end of day tomorrow. Oh dear. If by that time I've successfully located Mr. Vigil, we shall be mutually relieved. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo?
Don't look at me with those pleading eyes.
Well, my dear fellow, did you hear the details of the case?
Yes, my hearing is surprisingly good, actually.
Excellent. And what did you make of it?
Well, I was surprised to learn where her husband worked. At Barclay Prison, I mean.
Ah, so you noted that?
Of course, especially with the mention of Lowgate Cemetery.
Lowgate Cemetery is at the rear of Barclay Prison, so it was renowned among us students at the university for being haunted by the ghosts of condemned convicts.
Barclay Prison is where that notorious man was incarcerated.
The professor.
And now a warder from the prison has mysteriously disappeared, it would seem.
It's all very peculiar.
Indeed. But nothing you can't handle, I'm quite certain, Mr. Naruhodo.
Sorry?
Run along to the prison and see what you can glean, would you? It's the prison governor you want. No doubt the man is equally worried.
But are you going to go yourself?
Surely you needn't ask.
Surely you didn't ask. No.
I can't possibly be seen out with this hair. What do I...
Well, so much for that.
But didn't you go to Lime's? Oh, sorry, that was your line.
But didn't you go to Lime Street with that hair?
That was a quite different matter. So, I leave it in your capable hands. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm rather busy.
Huh. Boop. Womp. Of course you are. Barclay Prison is on the outskirts of London, backing onto a lonely burial ground. Its 4 high outer walls loomed quietly before us in the fog. Having requested a meeting, we were shown to the governor's office in the watchtower. Oh my. 1st November, Barclay Prison, governor's office. Look at this clock. This is terrifying.
Yeah,
this
look,
seems so
it has
dangerous.
a guillotine in it.
It has an actively functioning guillotine. Ew.
Hello?
Oh my god. Oh no, he's Scottish. This place is full of hardened criminals.
Good luck.
I can remember the last time a civilian was down here. And you didn't want to talk to an inmate, but to me. You can't know who I am. I'm the governor barricading. Oh, yes, it's a pleasure. I'm Renu Naruhodo, defense lawyer. And an Easterner, I see. Does that mean? Yes, I'm a visiting student of law from the Empire of Japan. Japan? You just said Japan!
Sweating.
Yes? There's no any kind in here, laddie. Maybe you should try the prison next door, eh?
I didn't notice another prison next door, sir.
Anyway, we came to ask you some questions about... I didn't like to be so direct, but... I've no intention of speaking with the likes of you suspicious-looking Easterners.
All right, racist.
Now get over my hair. So as soon as he finds out they were from Japan, he reacts like this. That surely means...
I think it's because of the professor case.
You think so too? 10 years ago, Genshin Asogi, also known as the Professor, was incarcerated at this prison. And then after his execution, he apparently re-emerged from his grave in the cemetery behind the prison. I might have known. You're sniffing around about that case, aren't you? Your agency? Part of the Professor's Great Web, no doubt. No, not at all. Wait. Get going with ya before I punch your late suit. We're going! We're going! The ghost of that killer still haunts this place. We're not gonna get anywhere here. Unless we can somehow prove to this man that there's nothing suspicious about us.
Governor Caden.
What are you thinking, Mrs. Sato?
I feel sure that name came up in conversation recently somewhere. I was wondering if whoever mentioned him might have some ideas to help us.
Come to think of it, I have the same feeling. No talk me Angie. The guillotine clock. Listen, it's just there. How can one man have fucked up so much for a whole country? You know what? It just be like that. That's Professor Mikotoba over there.
He live.
Ah, hello you two. I was just taking a moment to catch up on the world now that I'm unpacked. But where's Judge Jigoku? Yes, he's not the relaxing sort. He's taken himself off to pay his respects to all the legal bigwigs.
Having only just arrived in the country today? Goodness, he is full of energy.
Professor, you mentioned something before about how you'd known the prison governor at Barclay Prison? Oh, Governor Caden, you mean? So it is the same man.
Father, we must speak with the governor. But he refused to talk to us. He said we were suspicious Easterners.
Well, I'm sure if I accompanied you, it'd be a very different story. Oh, would you? That'd be wonderful, if you have the time now. Sadly, as you can see, I'm very busy at the moment, reading this newspaper. Busy drinking coffee on a comfortable set? Now, I have rather a lot to prepare for tomorrow, you know. Oh, sorry. I didn't say that out loud, did I? What is with the Mikotobas? Why can't they read my mind? It's like I wrote this game.
Or could it be that you Naruhodos are alarmingly bad at hiding your thoughts?
Yes, that is true. Demonstrably true. Let's not fall out now. I have an idea. What's he writing on that piece of paper? Here's a letter of introduction for you. Hopefully when he sees my name, he'll change his tune. Oh, thank you. Good luck then. Now, if you just cast your eyes over this, Governor Caden. What's this then? You can't pull the wool over my eyes, you good-for-nothing Japanese student. Mikotoba. That young jock from the forensics laboratory. That Mikotoba. Yes, exactly, him.
Oh dear. Perhaps I should have said something sooner. I'm Eugene Mikotoba's daughter, Susato.
Jinx, you're the young man's daughter. And you didn't think to mention that before?
I do apologize.
Aye, well, you'd best take a seat then. Can I offer you a cup of tea, perhaps? And then I forget to try one of these wee handcuff biscuits. Your father's influence is nothing short of amazing.
I'm bitterly regretting not announcing who I was from the outset now.
So then, what can I do for you, hen?
Well, we're currently investigating a case.
It's one of your warders, you see. He's gone missing. Missing?
That's right. It's surely been reported to you as well, being the prisoner governor.
I've never heard nothing of the sort. There's no missing persons in my prison.
Oh!
But how can that be?
It's Mr. Daily Vigil, your chief warder.
Vigil? That's right. His wife came to us and asked us to investigate his disappearance. Let's skip the part about him only going missing yesterday for the now. Clearly that means something to him.
Would you be so kind as to tell us what you know, sir?
Daily Vigil, yes. His wife is Evie Vigil. Aye, of course. We understand that Mr. Vigil is the chief warder here at the prison. Aye, that he was. Strong sense of responsibility and dedicated to the job, no doubt about it. He's a fine warder. Sorry, did you say was? Aye, he's no worker no more. Left the job.
Oh my!
When was this exactly? There's a question. When was it about? Can I have been much less than 10 years ago now? What? Huh?
What?
10 years ago? He stopped working here 10 years ago?
Has he been faking this whole time and they're actually broke?
Bro. He's literally that guy that, like, goes to work even though he doesn't have a job.
Yeah.
Probably got messed up in all kinds of black market shit. Aye, as I minded. You can, I haven't heard the fellow's name in all that time. It's a worry if he's gone missing, though. But Mrs. Vigil made no mention of it.
I think perhaps, Mr. Naruhodo, that his wife simply doesn't know.
I think he was lying.
Yeah, right?
I think she's unaware that he no longer works here.
Governor Caden, can you tell us what happened? Why did Mr. Vigil give up his job here? That's important, is it? Yes, I believe it may be.
What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo?
I can't help wondering, given that it was 10 years ago.
Ah!
Which was exactly when the professor was being held at the prison.
So Mr. Vigil actually resigned from the position of chief warder 10 years ago, you're telling us? What happened to make him leave his job?
Hydrating.
Oh.
In actual fact, he didn't leave the job willingly. He had no choice in the matter. I mean, he was dismissed? It does after a particular walk. Sorry, a walk? Aye, that's our word for it in here. A walk to the gallows. An execution? It's the job of the chief warder to prepare the gallows tree and oversee any executions, you see. Only Vigil did something unthinkable on that last walk he was manning.
What did he do?
I'm sorry, but I can't reveal that information. But I can tell you it's very rare for a chief warder to be relieved of his post. But why wouldn't Mrs. Vigil know about it? She appears to be under the impression that her husband still works here. I wouldn't ken anything about that, I'm afraid.
Can you perhaps answer one more question about the circumstances of his dismissal?
And what would that be in?
That last execution that Mr. Vigil was responsible for overseeing. Was it by any chance the professor's?
My thoughts exactly. I'm sorry, I really am. But I'm at no liberty to answer that.
I see. My father came to Britain all those years ago in order to study forensic medicine. But you seem to have been well acquainted.
The jail room, the prison, and the cemetery have a lot to do with one another. After all, we need fresh corpses for forensics research. You can? Yes, I can imagine.
The advancement of medical science isn't always particularly palatable.
If I worked in the laboratory just on the far side of the graveyard, the basement of St. Sinners, still in use today. St. Sinners? That's come up before, I'm sure.
Yes, that's right. We've been there.
Nico Toba and I used to ride in a carriage together and negotiate terms. For more fresh material, I suppose. Aye, and we used to sit in here for hours and gab on about gab on about God, this is hard. Aye, and we used to sit here for hours and gab on about dissection and all sorts. Oh, it takes me back. Or a pot of tea and a plate of cough biscuits, of course.
How charming.
He's a good fella, your father. Reliable and dead set on his work. But I'm afraid I'll never understand you Japanese. Because of Genshin Asogi, I suppose. Well, can I tell you anything else?
Thank you so much for your time, Governor.
Oh, one moment before you're away in. I'm sure I have it here somewhere. Ah, found it. Here. Take this as a wee souvenir of your visit to the prison.
What is it?
That's Vigil's dismissal notice. It's 10 years old now, of course.
Oh my, are you sure?
Aye, it's no trouble at all. It's not the original, mind. Thank you very much, Governor Caden. Well, in your turn, do me a favor and never come back here. That case is closed. Leave me the hell alone.
Well, I think we ought to return to Baker Street for the time being.
Yes, I agree. We need to report back to Mr. Sholmes with what we found out about Mr. Vigil. What will we tell Mr. Vigil, I wonder? First November, Sholmes is sweet. We're back!
Hello, you two! I thought you'd be back before long, so I baked some scones for us all.
So that's what the delicious smell is. Oh my god!
Oh, why? Greetings, my dear fellows. Is there a blue-haired league now? You've returned a good deal sooner than I was anticipating.
Hello, Mr. Sholmes.
Hello, Mr. Sholmes?
Say nothing. Your thoughts are written all over your faces in any case. It turns out that it may have been advisable to test my hair color restoration tonic before application. Oh, I heckin' knew it.
Oh my.
Pray, tell me, what of our warder friend? Is his hair just gonna change colors for the rest of the case?
I hope so.
Have you garnered some new information?
Oh, yes. Something very surprising, in fact. Though it's not a patch on your hair, to be honest.
It most certainly isn't. But still, we discovered that.
Sholmes!
Uh-oh.
Drop everything, Sholmes. This is more important.
Gina?
I can't Adam and Eve it. What's happened?
Clearly a grave matter indeed. Poor Miss Lestrade made no mention of my hair whatsoever. It's the boss. No!
What do you mean? Inspector Gregson?
No!
The boss is... He's dead.
No!
Gregson! No! Why?
What?
They just found his body. Shot with a pistol.
What?
But Inspector Gregson.
He was murdered?
Not Gregsy.
Come in, my dear girl. Tell us the whole story.
Just can't. We just learned
I
that Gregson
can't
is dead, but
believe
his
it.
hair is blue.
Stop! Out of all the people.
Oh, jeez. Are you serious, Gina? Inspector Gregson was... He was really shot?
I don't know much about what happened myself yet. They're still investigating the scene.
Where did this take place?
A little rented room in a building full of flats on Fresno Street.
The outskirts of town. Nowhere near his home. He was perchance investigating a case then.
The thing is, no one at the yard knows nothing about no case around there. Oh, how strange. The boss was. He was so good to me. I know I ain't up to much yet, but one day I was gonna show him. I'd become a proper detective. Oh, Ginny.
So, who did this? Do you have any idea who the culprit is?
They got him already. Already?
It's Mr. Daily Vigil. They've caught the shooter so soon?
A witness reported something was going on, and the boys got straight down there and took care of him. Who? What awful person did this? I still can't believe it myself. Gina? It was the Reaper.
It was the Reaper. The Reaper. Wait! Oh, we're gonna have to defend Van Zeeks in court! Oh, baby, you know it's an Ace Attorney game now! Wait a minute. You don't mean they've arrested Lord Van Zeeks for it?
That's right. That Reaper bloke's gone and shot the boss.
See, this is how you know it couldn't have been Van Zeeks. He would never shoot a man. He would obviously use his sword to end him rightly.
Or a wine bottle.
Lord Van Zeeks.
Are you quite sure, Miss Lestrade? It's Baron Van Zeeks the police have arrested?
I saw him with me own eyes in the interview room at the yard. I don't believe it.
Sword, wine bottle, and fangs.
True.
But there were witnesses, and they're all saying it was him. So you mean there were actually multiple witnesses? They heard the gunshot, apparently. And when our lot got to the scene, there was only the boss and the Reaper bloke in the room.
But there's no way Lord Van Zeeks would have taken Gregson's life. I just don't believe it.
I don't believe it either.
Thank you for informing us, Miss Lestrade. This really is most terrible news. I'm dreadfully sorry.
What are you saying sorry for? You didn't do nothing. Well, anyway, I'm taking a cab over to the scene right now. Please come and all, as soon as you can. You gotta help.
It's a detective's lot to appear whenever some sinister plot has unfolded. Little wonder we all look haggard. Sometimes these things are almost too much for the nerves.
Mr. Sholmes.
What use is there in being a great detective if I fail to see something like this coming, How could I let this happen to Gregson? To Gregson? Mr. Naruhodo, I shall leave at once to begin my investigations.
Of course, yes. We will too.
It would be helpful if you could talk to Mr. Reaper and see what you can glean. I'm sure you were intending to do so anyway. Until later, then.
Inspector Dr. Gregson dead, and Lord Van Zeek's arrested.
Renu, Susie, I've called you a handsome. It's waiting outside.
Thanks, Iris. Shall we, Mrs. Sato?
Yes.
Before we do that, let's take a little break so I can pee.
Okay.
All right. Are we ready to talk to Lord Van Zeeks? Sounds like Renu's not here yet.
Hello? Oh, not back yet.
High drama today? I can't believe they killed Gregson. Oh my god, dude. Like, legitimately, there were so many death flags flying around early on in this case. But Gregson wasn't even, like, present, so there was no way I was gonna guess him as to be the one who's gonna die. Oh no. Gregsy and him fish and chips. Lay down. Tempting bowls with fish and chips strewn all over. No! I liked him.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm back.
Welcome back.
I had to feed Kitty. I realized nobody gave her her dinner. She was like, hey, I'm hungry.
Ah, don't forget about Kitty.
First November, local prison, cell 1. There he is. Lord Van Zeek's behind bars.
So it's true. He really was arrested.
He's sitting with his back to the wall, reading something. I don't think he's noticed us. Lord Van Zeeks? Fancy meeting you here. The last place on Earth I'd like to be, but the last person on Earth I'd like to see. I couldn't very well not come. I heard what happened, but that Inspector Gregson was... Go home. This has nothing to do with you. But...
Forgive me, Lord Van Zeeks, but I must disagree. Inspector Gregson was very helpful to us on a number of occasions. We're indebted to him. At the very least, we owe it to him to find out the truth about his death. You must help us with our investigations, please.
There's really nothing I can tell you. What were you just reading at the back of the cell there? Was it something related to the case? This? The Yard isn't quite so cavalier with its information as to share case details with a suspect. This is a letter from an old acquaintance.
Oh, who might that be?
Someone you know, as it happens. Albert Harebrain. Of course. Yes, I keep forgetting they went to the same university. He's your only friend. And I would like to read my correspondence in peace. So let's get this over with, shall we? What is it you want to know? Strange. I mean, let's face it, Lord Van Zeeks never minces his words. But they seem to have less bite than usual somehow. Can you at least tell us your side of the story, Lord Van Zeeks? What happened? How much do you already know?
We know that the inspector was shot dead in a small rented room on Fresno Street.
And that you were found there by the police when they arrived on the scene and immediately arrested.
We were told that there was nobody else in the room, and that some witnesses heard the gunshot.
Then you're well informed. And there's really nothing I can add. The truth is, I don't know what happened myself.
What?
But the gunshot! I mean, obviously you didn't fire the gun, did you? I'm not in the habit of shooting the people I work alongside. I also heard the noise. However, before I had a chance to investigate, I was apprehended by the arriving officers. So he doesn't actually know what happened.
If I might ask, what were you doing in that place to begin with?
I don't need to answer that.
Oh,
After all, you're not representing me. He is going to need a lawyer, though.
I mean, if we can win against you, Van Zeeks, you might as well hire us.
True. Who is going to be representing you in court, Lord Van Zeeks? I mean, in all fairness, he could probably represent himself.
That's true, too.
There are few people as qualified. Anyone other than you, I should imagine.
You know we're the best.
would I be right in assuming that you have no representation as yet?
Defense lawyers shy away from any trial involving the Reaper, as I'm sure you know. But this is different. In my career, of all the defendants I've prosecuted, only 19 have ever been acquitted. Of them, 16 subsequently died in mysterious circumstances. Questions will be asked now.
Surely not.
I assure you, no defense lawyer will want to touch me with the end of a barge pole. But you didn't actually have anything to do with those people's deaths, did you? It's been 10 years now that I've been known as the Reaper of the Bailey. Believe me, nobody wants to know the true identity of the killer more than I. However, it seems things may come to a head before I have the chance to uncover the truth about that. What does he mean by that? After the trial, Professor Harebrain was supposed to go straight back to Germany, I thought. It's a letter to inform me of his safe arrival at home. I arranged his passage by sea and rail. It's a relief, I must say. He should now be beyond the reaches of the Reaper.
Because the Reaper doesn't follow people abroad, you mean?
Yes, so it seems. Your stooped little Nipponese friend, for example, who told me he was keeping well in Japan when I inquired the other day. Yes, that's right. He's an author now, happily working in Tokyo.
So Professor Harebrain is safely back in Germany now.
He is. So, it appears our conversation has run dry. There was a 2-second silence, that's all! Well, in any event, if you'll excuse me now, I wouldn't like to detain you. I was wondering, Lord Van Zeeks, if you'd like, I'd be happy to advocate for you. You trust me, do you? Yes. I've heard you speak many times in court. I've seen how you treat people. So I'm quite sure that he would never have taken another's life. It's just my feelings can't be used as evidence in a court of law, sadly. It's a very gracious offer. However, I trust no one.
All right.
What? Not the police, not the judiciary, and not you, police. But police! Come on, man! I have no intention of engaging your services. The chasm between us is just too wide and too deep, it seems. I'd appreciate it if you don't visit again. Then neither of us will waste any more time. Perhaps we need to dig a little deeper and find out more about Lord Van Zeeks and what happened to Inspector Gregson. Oh boy. 1st November, room on Fresno Street. This really isn't out of the way part of London. I doubt many people find their way down this back street. So this dust-ridden rented old room is where it happened then.
So this is where poor Inspector Gregson lost his life.
Yes, and the police are already hard at work investigating, it seems. I don't see Mr. Sholmes anywhere, though. Perhaps his investigations have taken him elsewhere.
Oi! What do you think you're doing there? Every one of them drawers has got to be taken right out so you can look underneath and all. I want the space above the ceiling checked, and don't forget to look inside the chimney stack too. Blimey, ain't you lot never gone over an house looking for dough when the owners are out of town?
No. Gina's obviously got some unique investigative techniques she wants everyone to adopt.
Oh, so you've turned up at last. Mind you, I ain't been here long myself.
Hello again, Gina.
Sholmes has only just left. You're lucky you missed that. He went prancing around in here, pointing at stuff and flicking that out of his, and then just scarpered. Oh, he's finished investigating already, you mean? Yeah, he didn't stop to say nothing to no one, not even me.
Gina, would you mind if I investigated too?
Listen, Odo. You're a lawyer, right?
Yes? Why?
Well, you're not thinking of trying to help that Reaper bloke, are you?
Oh. Poor Gina. She's never gonna forget, is she? That trial will haunt her forever.
Gina, if you don't mind me saying, if Lord Van Zeeks really is responsible for this crime, he will be duly and fairly judged in court. I suppose you're right, yeah? Go on then, Odo, get investigating. I want to know the truth about what really happened here. I
Thank
love
you, Gina. Gina, what was Inspector Gregson doing here in the first place?
That's what I want to know. It's what? Half a year since I got out of the clink? That's when I decided to give up me diving and become a detective instead.
Oh, yes, Mr. Sholmes twisted the inspector's arm to agree to take you on as an apprentice, didn't he?
Something like that, I think. Anyway, the point is, I didn't really know much about the boss till then. But it turns out he's a bit of a legend at the yard. Goodness, really? They say he managed to solve some really tricky case, just like that.
If only this was the first case of the game, you could play Van Zeke representing himself. It's true. He did?
Yup. And ever since then, he started going out on all sorts of investigations, but always on his own. No one else at the yard even knows what after cases he's working on are, apparently.
That's not how it's supposed to work, is it? So what was the legendary inspector doing in a dingy little room like this?
I know he had a lot of respect for the Reaper and all, and look where that landed him.
Respect for the Reaper? In what way?
I heard him say as much. I take my hat off to the fellow with his words.
Not how the general public feels, is it? Most people are terrified of the Reaper.
Yeah, the boss said that's exactly why he respected the bloke.
I didn't realize Gregson held the Reaper in quite such high regard.
He said something else to me and all. That I need to worry about the Reaper because he only goes after what are bad. It did kind of set my mind at ease when he said that.
Right. What is this place then? Does anyone live here?
Apparently it's being rented by some cove called Hugh Boone.
I read that as huge bone.
Hugh Boone.
It's a sort of here today, gone tomorrow name, that, isn't it?
Yeah, he's what we call an unidentified person. We haven't been able to get in touch with him.
I see. Well, judging from appearances, I'd have to say this place hasn't been lived in for a long time, if ever.
Right? All the lads from the yard piled down to get stuck into the investigation. But there's so little here, no one knew what to do with themselves. I do wonder.
Yes, Mrs. Sato?
Well, could it be that this Hugh Boone is in fact Inspector Gregson himself?
What? How could that be?
Well, if he was investigating on his own, it's quite possible that this was in fact some kind of secret office of his.
I'd never even considered that.
Nice work, Suze. We're actually falling on a line of inquiry like that ourselves.
You are?
If you look around the room, you'll see there's a few things that hint at it.
We should really investigate this place in detail.
I see that's where the poor inspector was found, over there. Yeah, that's right. They said it was a single bullet what did him in. Apparently the bullet went straight through him and struck that candle tree on the wall.
Oh yes, it's blown one of the candles apart completely.
And the gun used is there on the floor. It's the Reaper's, isn't it? No denying that.
What? Really?
How do you know that? Take it easy. I don't know what to do with myself when you stare at me with them big white eyes. I'm only saying what I've heard. I don't know much about guns myself. But there's some bigwig lawman or whatever who said so. Why don't you ask him?
A bigwig lawman, is it?
Anyway, Fresno Street runs along under that window there. There were some street sellers just outside who heard a gunshot. Oh, but I don't recall seeing anybody outside. Yeah, they've all been taken down the yard for questioning, that's why. Talking about the yard's legendary inspector here. After all, they'll be getting a grilling.
Do you think we might be able to speak with those street sellers ourselves?
I doubt it. The lads at the yard will just want to know what you're snooping around for, and you'll be up for a grilling and all.
So we can't interview the witnesses then. Shame. Alright, let's look around.
Oh, it's a photograph stand. I suppose it must be a picture of one of Inspector Gregson's family members. Ah!
What's the matter? Your eyes look like they're about to pop out of your head.
They are! Look, Mr. Naruhodo, quickly!
Bum! Huh. Why do I feel like this woman is familiar somehow?
Why does Ryunosuke not have a memory?
Of course she's familiar! We met her only this morning!
Oh! It's
Oh my god. Please.
Mrs. Vigil! Yeah!
God, please.
This makes no sense. Why would there be a picture of Mrs. Vigil here?
To be frank, I don't think I've ever been more stumped.
I'm sorry to say, I have no idea either.
An empty fireplace makes a room feel even colder than it would be otherwise, doesn't it?
It's thick with dust, look. I think it would be fair to say it hasn't been used in a very long time.
In other words, whoever lived in this room must have been extremely hardy in cold weather.
Or nobody lived here at all, and merely visited when the occasion rose. I wouldn't like to say which is more likely.
No, that's right. It's one or the other.
This looks like some sort of notice board or something.
And it's absolutely covered in scraps of paper.
Ah, Mr. Naruhodo, look!
This, you mean? It's an autopsy report, isn't it?
And these are case notes here, and details of prison inmates.
Bro.
Yes. In fact, they're all the sorts of documents that only a detective could normally acquire. What on earth went on in this room?
Some old newspaper cuttings. Ah, and this one here.
Oh, yes, the advertisement, you mean. To the Red-Headed League. But why? What's that doing here? The mystery.
Whoever occupied this room was clearly interested in it for some reason.
What if he wanted to, because he didn't actually have a job anymore, join the Redheaded League to get money.
I guess so. Excuse me? Oh, Inspector. Oh, sir. Poor man. He can't possibly be able to focus on investigating when he's so upset.
Aw.
Poor guy. Excuse me? Sorry, sir. Can't see a thing, sir. Too many tears, sir.
Oh!
Right. Perhaps I'd better leave you to your work then.
Everybody's sad.
Everybody liked Gregson.
Yeah.
Top of one of the candles in this candle holder has been completely blown off.
Yes, there's wax splattered on the wall behind. Look.
I suppose if a bullet had hit it.
It does seem likely that the bullet hit the candle. Having first passed through the inspector's body.
Ugh, now that wax on the wall looks like blood to me. So I suppose this is where the victim?
That's right. The rope is laid around the body to show exactly how it was found. Poor Inspector Gregson himself had already been taken away.
And would probably be under Dr. Syde's scalpel by now, if not for what happened last week.
From the shape of the rope, it would appear that the inspector was curled up in a ball. Are you feeling all right, Mr. Naruhodo? You look like you've just seen a ghost.
I know it's just a rope, but well, it conjures up quite a terrifying image, that's all.
Yeah.
Especially with that bloodstain next to it.
Oh, I do understand. In some ways, what we picture in our minds can be even worse than reality.
Susato-san is so strong, though. She's taking this far better than I am. Excuse me? If you're looking down on us from the great beyond, Inspector, don't worry. We'll look after things at the yard. I've interrupted some deep thoughts there. Somebody's very haphazardly nailed those boards over the broken glass, haven't they? You couldn't even really call it a window anymore.
Well, if you remember the window in Mr. Natsume's room, that was totally blocked up with bricks. This one does at least still let in some light.
You could say nothing more about it. I'm starting to feel even more sorry for Mr. Natsume now. This is presumably the murder weapon, then.
Oh my, it is real, I suppose.
I think so. Guns are so rare in Japan, I really know very little about them.
There's one way to know for sure, Mr. Naruhodo. Fire a shot.
Oh dear, no.
No, no, no! If I did that, I'd be looking for a skilled lawyer to represent me in court. It's highly safer just to ask someone who might know, I think. Oh, what's this?
It would appear to be a little model policeman. It's rather charming in a way, isn't it?
Seeing as it's on the floor here, do you think it belonged to Inspector Gregson? Be kind of weird.
It's a little hard to imagine Lord Van Zeek's playing with something like this.
It's only about 8 centimeters tall. Could have fallen out of somebody's pocket, I suppose. I think we should record it as evidence, just in case.
Yes, I agree. It is rather delightful after all, in a way.
Policeman figurine has been entered into the court record. Ever since we came in here, I can't take my eyes off this thing.
Oh, funnily enough, neither can I. It's a hairpiece, isn't it? Oh my gosh!
It's a hairpiece, isn't it?
It is! It is a bright red hairpiece!
And I suppose the fact that it's right there next to where the body was found means we have to accept that Inspector Gregson wore wigs, does it?
No. And in such a flame-colored red, too.
Yes, that's a color that we've come across very recently elsewhere, isn't it?
Exactly. This is a vital clue, I'm sure of it.
Okay, well let's look at our old evidence here. Professor Mikotoba has wonderful handwriting, doesn't he? This dark-suited young man is not in the least bit untrustworthy. Is it just me, or does that make me sound extremely untrustworthy?
I do wish he'd at least called you a nice young man.
I'm really not sure that would help.
Oh, it looks like this is some sort of steamship ticket. The SS Grouse, first class cabin 001. Yokohama departure 11th September, London arrival 1st November.
Oh, that's the boat that Professor Mikotoba and Judge Jikoku came on from Japan, isn't it?
Yes, I think it called at Dunkirk on the north coast of France for a night before finally arriving in Dover.
To think that it's been almost a year since we arrived in Dover on the SS Buria. Seems a shame not to keep your ticket as a memento of your trip, don't you think?
Yes, I agree. I have mine safely in my diary.
I keep mine in my wallet, so I have it with me at all times. Oh, well, how strange. Where could it have gone?
Are you like this on purpose, Mr. Naruhodo?
She's like, he's so dumb. He's so stupid. Oh my god. Did I imagine it? Or was that comment accompanied by a little sigh? Notice of dismissal, 25th June. Chief Warder Daily Vigil is relieved of his post with immediate effect for having violated Clause 132 of Her Majesty's Code of Conduct for Prisons. All rights to redundancy pay and other financial benefits are fully revoked. Reason for dismissal: aiding and abetting the escape from this prison of convict just prior to his execution. Details of this escape are still being investigated. Full cooperation with inquiries will be expected. Prison Governor Barry Caden. Additional notes: indications are that the jailbreak plot was conceived prior to the convict's incarceration. It's believed that the convict engaged in some form of negotiation with prison staff in order to secure assistance. Full disclosure of information regarding these negotiations will be demanded. Oh, there's some black marks here, look.
Yes, they look like some sort of scorch marks.
So perhaps the bullet struck the candle here, do you think? It's only this one candle that's been cracked in half, it seems.
Yes, I think you might be right. Firearms are rarely used by criminals in Japan, so I'm afraid I'm not particularly knowledgeable about them.
I suppose this must have been the murder weapon.
Oh my. It is real, I suppose?
I think so. Guns are so rare in Japan, I really know very little about them. Perhaps someone more familiar with firearms could shed a light on things here. Excuse me, Mr. Van Zeeks, can you tell me how the gun works?
Oh my. Found the one gap in Susato's knowledge base.
True.
The helmet of this charming policeman appears to be a little worse for wear.
I'm not convinced about the charming part, but yes, you're right. The head part looks like it's been fairly heavily manhandled. Almost as if somebody has enjoyed twisting it around and around for fun. Shall we try twisting it around in round 2? For fun? Whoa! What is that?
It appears to be some sort of key.
It's tiny, though. It could be a key for a door. Not that size. So, what is it for, I wonder? Oh my god. There's a fucking key on this man. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like some sort of key.
Yes, it does. A very tiny and simple key.
What's a little key doing inside a figurine of a policeman in the first place? What's it for? Why did it come out of his crotch? I've always wondered what the underside of a hairpiece looks like.
That doesn't surprise me at all, Mr. Naruhodo. You always want to see what lies beneath, don't you?
I'm not sure that's quite how I'd put it. You must have to use lots of bird lime to keep it in place on your head, so it doesn't get blown off in a gust of wind, I mean.
That might be a little inconvenient when you wanted to take it off again, don't you think?
Gina, what the fuck is this?
What is that? Evidence?
No. Gina, do you know anything about anything? Anything else? Anything else suspicious in here? Hello, Mr. Van Zeeks. Oh, he doesn't want to talk to us still. Okay.
Hates us.
Really want to examine these. Oh, look! We have an opportunity here now, while the governor's away.
Mr. Naruhodo, you could be imprisoned if you were caught.
But his
That's a
clock.
Good point. Perhaps not then.
God, touch it.
Well, I want to touch it.
Touch the clock.
First November, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. You've made good time. I took an express train back to London. I can hear Lord Strongheart, can you?
Yes, it sounds as though he's talking to someone.
Ah! Boy,
Is everything in place?
I had a private compartment on the train so I could check all the paperwork.
It's...
Kazuma-sama!
Ah, your timing is impeccable. It is? No doubt you have heard the sickening news about the Reaper's latest devilry. Yes.
I'm sure you don't believe it, of course, though, Lord Strongheart. That Lord Van Zieks could have done such a thing to Inspector Gregson.
I believe only in the facts, and the facts in this case point to one thing. The unavoidable accusal of Lord Van Zieks for this crime. We must bring charges against the Reaper for taking the life of our legendary detective.
Oh no, surely not.
It's a truly regrettable situation. Tomorrow, the Forensic Science Symposium finally begins. At the very least, though, we can show the world our justice system's swift and equitable processes. So, does that mean the trial is tomorrow? Precisely.
Always.
Always! In fact, this is a fine opportunity for introductions. Kazuma. Ah, but of course, you're already acquainted, aren't you? Mr. Asogi here will be present at tomorrow's proceedings, leading the prosecution.
Oh!
Wait, what? Kazuma? As I'm sure you're aware, he's a very capable practitioner of law.
Kazuma-sama, a prosecutor?
This was fated to be.
Always.
I'm sure you can imagine that tomorrow's trial will be closely followed all over London. In fact, no, people all over the Empire will be watching closely to see how it unfolds. There's no salvation for anyone in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper of the Bailey. And now, the Reaper himself must stand in the dock. Quite so. The public wants answers about the Reaper. Answers about how and why those who escaped conviction subsequently died mysterious deaths.
But Lord Van Zieks firmly denies any involvement in such matters.
And there have been thorough investigations that have proven him to be innocent. That's certainly true. Or it has been, at least, until now.
Ah,
No, tomorrow's trial will mark the start of a new chapter in our country's great judicial history. So, Kazuma will be prosecuting tomorrow. That's right.
but he's a defense lawyer, Lord Strongheart.
Accomplished young law practitioners cannot pick and choose their roles. And imagine what it will mean for the prosecution to know the strategies commonly employed by the defense. A devastating combination, wouldn't you agree? Absolutely. I've no doubt at all that Kazuma will be razor sharp as a prosecutor.
But why Kazuma-sama? There are surely many other highly skilled prosecutors in Great Britain.
It was a personal request. I asked it to be assigned to the trial.
You asked for this? But why?
It'll all become clear tomorrow. I'm guessing you intend to stand for the defense, don't you?
Listen, if he fucking lets me.
Let's go. Although, the Reaper appears to be turning down all offers of representation.
These fucking drama queens. They're always like this.
I'm surprised such a personal request would have been upheld. It seems unprecedented. Quite exceptional, in fact.
You are quite right, Miss Mikotoba. Tomorrow's trial will be unprecedented and exceptional in every way. After all, the accused is one of Britain's greatest prosecutors, the pride of the empire. It would be unwise to give the public a reason to perceive it as the judiciary closing ranks. So that's why you're happy to let a foreigner handle the prosecution.
Ryunosuke. Let's see how your skills have been honed after practicing law in this land for so many months.
Kazuma, I don't understand why you're being so hostile to me now. This isn't going to end well, my friend.
Boyfriends fighting.
Oh, yes. We noticed that there was a gun at the scene of Inspector Gregson's death. Do you know if it belongs to Lord Van Zeeks? That would be a question for the lead detective investigating the scene. Well, the thing is... Gregson's dead. She wasn't sure, so she told me I should ask somebody higher up who might know.
That's right, Mr. Naruhodo. Be direct.
It's certainly a model that's issued to all personnel involved in law enforcement, yes. Which includes prosecutors, as I'm sure you can imagine.
In that case, it could actually have belonged to the victim.
No, Gregson had his gun on his person. What about Lord Van Zeeks? He claims it's currently not in his possession. What? According to his story, he lost it. In short, it's more than a little suspicious.
But just because the gun in question is the same type as the defendant's is no proof that it's actually his.
No, of course not. Nevertheless, the situation is grave for Lord Van Zeeks.
I'm sorry for all the worry I've caused you, but it'll be all right now.
Has your memory completely returned?
Yes, completely. I remember everything. Including what I was coming here to do.
Right.
Kazuma-sama. I can't tell you how happy I am to see you are alive and well like this. But how did you come to be here in London when you were suffering from amnesia?
It was the voice. This past year, I've been hearing it in my head constantly, saying the same thing over and over. Go to London. That's where your destiny awaits.
Oh my god. That's ominous as fuck.
It was that voice that guided me here to London. I'm so sorry for what's happened. Anyway, my memory might have returned to me. But there's something that won't return to the way it was before.
Huh? What do you mean?
I'm a prosecutor now, so I'm sure our paths will cross again very soon.
It doesn't look like we're gonna glean much more here. Well, thank you very much, Lord Strongheart. Remember, tomorrow's trial will go down in our empire's history. There's much you could learn from the public gallery. Sorry to have taken up so much of your time. We'll see ourselves out.
Before you go, Ryunosuke,
Oh, what is it, Kazuma?
I just wanted to thank you.
Kazuma-sama, what?
You took my determination to heart and brought it with you over the ocean in my stead. And you carried out my role to perfection.
You always were intent on studying British law in order to change our own justice system. It was your dream, and Mr. Naruhodo didn't want that to die with you.
Yes, but I had another purpose for coming here.
Oh,
I actually have a favor to ask.
Which is?
This trial I'll be prosecuting tomorrow. I'd like you to be there to see how it ends. Right in front of me, as the defense counsel. Ooh!
Why? What's this all about?
I know you have what it takes.
But Lord Van Zieks would never put his fate in my hands.
On the contrary, he recognizes your talent.
He does?
It's not easy to see behind the facade sometimes. Here, have a look at this.
That's Lord Van Zieks and Inspector Gregson.
And a photograph that must have been taken some time ago by the look of it. And who's the third person?
It was displayed very prominently in the detective's office.
In Gregson's office, you mean?
Yes. What I'm trying to say is, if you really think you can trust the Reaper, you might find that some straight talking makes him take a different view. Take it.
I don't understand. Why are you giving me this?
Just hurry, Ryunosuke. Visiting hours at the prison are almost over.
What are you doing, Kazuma? First November, local prison, cell 1. Lord Van Zieks is still reading that letter.
We've been gone quite some time, though.
Either he's an incredibly slow reader, or it's an incredibly long letter. I might even be able to read English faster than he can. He's so stupid. I was intending to ignore you entirely. But I can't turn a deaf ear to such insulting Nipponese. Oh, sorry. I didn't think you'd hear that. Bro, I have ears. I had the case notes brought to me in secret. I was reading them to pass the time.
Yes, we heard that your trial is set for tomorrow.
Which is none of your business. So, have you found a lawyer? How many times must I reiterate the same thing? This has nothing to do with you. In other words, no.
We were just talking to Lord Strongheart, and the prosecutor for your trial has been decided.
I'd expect nothing less, though I have no idea who it is. It's going to be Kazuma Asogi. Asogi? That made the color drain from his face. Well then, it seems I'm going to have to engage in conversation with you again after all. "10 years ago, my older brother, who was the director of prosecutions at the time, was murdered. And the killer, as you know, was a visiting student from the Far East. Not a single day goes by when I don't curse the name Asogi.
Genshin Asogi was Kazuma-sama's father.
So, what cruel twist of fate is this now, 10 years later? The man's son is to crucify me in some kangaroo court. I still don't understand why Lord Strongheart apprenticed Kazuma to you. It's what he does. No doubt he knew of the young man's true identity from the outset.
But what could he have been hoping to achieve?
And let's not forget that it was only 8 days ago that Kazuma recovered from his amnesia. Why would Lord Strongheart assign this trial to somebody like that? Asogi. That name is the very epitome of my bane. The bane that is you, Nipponese. Right, your hatred of all us Japanese. I'd only just been appointed as a prosecutor when it happened 10 years ago. My brother Clint, the director of prosecutions, was hunting down a mass murderer. The so-called professor. Assigned to the investigation as his partner was a certain visiting student dispatched from Scotland Yard. And that was Genshin Asogi. Exactly. I developed a deep respect for the man. He seemed noble-minded and chivalrous in the extreme to me. But none of us saw the true nature of the man. So I lost everything when it happened. My esteemed brother, the people I believed in, any semblance of right prevailing over wrong.
Oh, how awful.
To avenge my brother, I prosecuted in Asogi's trial. It wouldn't ordinarily have been allowed, but I beleaguered the ascribed prosecutor until he consented.
What do you mean by the ascribed prosecutor?
The man in charge of the Professor Case inquiry, Lord Mail Strongheart. Wait, what? Lord Strongheart? He was a highly accomplished prosecutor, but he agreed to relinquish the trial to me and act as my advisor instead. Since that time, he's the one person to whom I've felt indebted.
I'm sure he must have seen your zeal for the case and recognized your potential as a prosecutor.
Anyway, time passed, but then earlier this year, who should arrive in London but you? And of all things, as a lawyer. I felt your animosity the first time I ever faced you in the courtroom. Your obvious deep loathing of us Japanese. I kept telling myself it was illogical. But for so many years, that hatred had festered inside me. I could no longer control it. And I can understand why, now I know the history. But in the same way that I've long felt the Nipponese to be the bane of my life. To Kazuma Asogi, I am the bane of his, the reaper who sent his father to the gallows. He's looking for revenge, and he intends to take it in court tomorrow. Grixon's transfer to the Paris police prefecture had finally been arranged for the coming month. Oh god, I forgot about that!
Oh, wow, yeah.
But he'll never make it to France now. It's a tragedy. Oh, yes, come to think of it, he did mention something about that, didn't he?
I wonder, does it happen often? Being transferred internationally, I mean.
It's the first time I've ever encountered it.
Oh,
The Paris police welcoming an English detective is almost inconceivable. I can't imagine what kind of magic Gregson must have worked to put that arrangement in place. It sounds like that mystery has even the Reaper perplexed.
I'm afraid to say that we were very ignorant about Inspector Gregson's standing. We hear that he was considered something of a legend at Scotland Yard.
Again, it was 10 years ago that he first made a name for himself, by uncovering a decisive piece of evidence that exposed the professor's identity. If it wasn't for Gregson's singular approach to the case, the discovery would have never been made. What sort of approach? After my brother's life was taken, the inspector pushed for a full autopsy.
Oh my, 10 years ago?
Why is that so surprising? Autopsy was considered desecration of the body at the time and rarely performed. And my brother was of course a noble. That made the idea of it even more unthinkable. But something Gregson had dug up in his investigations made him determined it was necessary. His powerful convictions somehow influenced the House of Lords, and as a result, I could avenge my brother's death. So, you must have had great confidence in the inspector's abilities then.
And it's even more inconceivable that you would have taken his life.
I don't have confidence in anyone. And I'm sure Gregson felt the same way. I have no doubt he thought of me only as the ominous Reaper, just like the rest of London. What really went on between Lord Van Zieks and Gregson, I wonder? What was the true nature of their relationship? About the gun used to shoot the inspector that was found at the scene. Ah, yes. That's not mine. Oh, really? Because common opinion seems to be that it is. What do you expect me to say to that?
Lord Strongheart informs us that you claim to have misplaced your firearm.
As embarrassing as that is, I'm afraid it's true. When did you lose it then? That I don't know.
Oh,
I was issued with a revolver when I first became a prosecutor 10 years ago. I must have stowed it somewhere, I suppose. Or left it somewhere, perhaps. See, he's not the kind of guy to shoot somebody.
You have something in common with Lord Van Zeeks after all, Mr. Naruhodo. A talent for misplacing things.
Oh, no, that has nothing to do with me. Don't drag me into it. Don't make the mistake of associating me with this Nipponese.
Oh dear, the rift is very wide, isn't it?
So it's not decisive evidence, clearly, but it doesn't look good, that's for sure. Lord Van Zeeks, we came by this old photograph. Where did you get that? It was taken when I became a qualified prosecutor. It's almost unbelievable. I assumed it was long lost. Is the man on the left there? Yes, that's my brother, Clint. It had to be, really. Apparently this picture was prominently displayed in Gregson's office. He had a deep respect for you, you know. Were you aware of that? Respect? That's nonsense. No, we've heard someone attest to it very clearly. Inspector Gino Lestrade, no less. Well, maybe once, yes. There was a time when things were like that. We were brothers in arms, jovially discussing the future of justice and other such lofty subject matter. That was a nice glimpse of the past. I thank you. I feel as though I've got a nice glimpse of the past then, too. There was a glimmer of light in his eyes, a brief twinkle, an insight into the true nature of this man known to all as the stone-cold Reaper of the Bailey. Mr. Naruhodo. Oh! That's the first time he's actually used my name.
Just sweet talking us.
I've lost all confidence in my country's justice system. I don't trust the police, the judiciary, or lawyers. But there's still one thing I'm willing to believe in. Well, what's that? That which you see in the eyes of another across the courtroom. A simple determination to know the truth.
Okay.
Lord Van Zeeks. From the very first time we clashed in the Bailey almost a year ago now, I couldn't deny it, even though I dearly wished I could. Here is a loathsome Nipponese who has absolute integrity as a lawyer. So many things I hate put in one package.
You said we have integrity.
There are only two other men I've known with that same look in their eyes. My brother Clint and Genshin Asungi.
Oh?
The man he idolized and the man who betrayed his trust in the most hideous way. Oh, we're hydrating.
Whoa. Gotta hydrate after Heckin called us by name.
Ooh, sheesh. When you showed me that photograph just now, it reminded me. You mean this photograph? Yeah. Water to replace the tears. Back then, I was able to laugh. I was free of the shackles of mistrust that plagued me now. I looked to the future with hope. Since then, I've protected myself against betrayal by refusing to trust anyone. But at times, the mire into which I've sunk makes it almost impossible to breathe. I'm so sorry. So, Mr. Naruto, I want to believe in that look in your eyes. I need to believe in it. In tomorrow's trial, will you advocate for me?
Wow!
Of course I will. It would be an honor.
I'm so pleased, Mr. Naruhodo.
Then my life is in your hands. For Lord Van Zeeks, that must have been an incredibly hard thing to ask,
Yeah!
which is why I simply cannot let the man down. Tomorrow, in the Old Bailey, against my old friend Kazuma.
This do be crazy!
To be continued.
Woo!
Wow! Trial
Wow.
part 1.
Wow, we're already getting in it.
All right. Well, thanks for coming, everybody. We are not going to be here next week because Renu is away.
Ugh.
Luckily, it seems like luckily, the investigation really didn't turn up anything that we need to know. So we can go into the trial fresh in 2 weeks, and we won't really be missing too much as long as we take a look over the evidence again.
That's true.
All right. Well, thanks for coming. We are probably doing tier list tomorrow.
Ooh.
So if you'd like to join us for that, you are more than welcome.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. We will see you later. Goodbye.